Yeah, you can proceed. Yes, please. You can tell me.
Yeah, regarding service accounts, we discussed like a customized service account. It's just an assistant for
Correct.
us.
Hmm.
So, will there be any difference? We have other already like local server, local service, network
No,
service.
no difference. No difference. See, customized service account, in what scenario will go with the customized service account? I told you. So, for example, if you have dedicated service account is different, the common service account is different. Okay. If you open services.msc, there you can see lot of services. For all these services,
Yes,
your default service accounts is the responsible one. Means services almost 100 to 100 services will be there. See how many services are there. Out of these 100 to 100 services, for all these 100 services, only three workers, three assistants are there. Do you think
yes.
100 services can be managed with only three accounts?
No, definitely it is not.
Definitely 100 services means all these 100 services are up and running, right? So
Yes,
they
yes.
will have some work. How can this 100 service account can manage this with these three assistants? It can manage, but it might take some time, right? That is called delay or latency. So that's why we have our own service accounts, our own dedicated assistants. That is called a customized service account.
Okay. So permission wise, both are same. There is
Same,
no
same, same. So there is no difference. Functionalities wise, permissions wise, there is no difference. But the thing is, already these service accounts are busy with other services, right? Chalo,
Mhm.
we have installed SQL Server only for our purpose, right? For the application purpose. But all other services are taking part of it. But the priority software is SQL Server, right?
Yes,
So you
yes,
have to
yes.
give priority to SQL Server first. You cannot
Yes.
say this local system, hey, sorry, SQL Server, just wait, I am busy with other services. Once it is done, I am going to get back to you. It cannot say like that, right?
Oh,
Right? So that's why if you have dedicated service accounts, the dedicated service accounts will only work for the SQL Server. They don't touch other services. So it will be dedicated to SQL Server. So the priority is SQL servers. Okay,
yes,
so at
yes.
least performance wise it will be good instead of having your local system or local service or network service. If you have dedicated one, it's good.
Okay. Thank you, Shanmugh.
Yeah, no problem. Yes, any other questions? And Ajay, can you please unmute? Can you hear me, Ajay? And who is this HP?
Sir, Amrish Yadav.
Sorry,
Amrish Yadav.
Amrish Yadav. Okay, done, done, done. Okay, Ajay, can you please unmute? Amrish Yadav. Ajay, just now you unmuted and again you are muted. Please unmute.
ల్యాప్టాప్ పట్టుకుంటాను
Any other questions, guys?
I have a small question. Hello.
Yes, please. Yes, please. You can ask.
Actually, during the installation of the Windows Server 2012 R2, so there is a fatal error is coming.
Fatal error is coming.
Yes, yes, sir. How to solve
What
that?
is that? 2012 R2
Yes, correct.
during Windows
2012.
installation.
Yes, yes.
Uh, you have to share your screen.
Okay, okay.
Okay, if you share your
Okay.
screen, then I'll get an idea what fatal error you are getting. Guys, are you following the recordings or not? First question. Very first question, I told you during the initial discussion, if you have any issues, your first source is recordings. Just go through the recordings, and again while watching the recordings, you cannot watch again 2 hours video at a time. So you should be patience, you should have patience. Please watch it again and again so that somewhere you'll get the solution for that. If not, go to the Google it. You should know how to Google to that kind of errors and all. What kind of keywords you have to use, you will know, you will came to know. The third source is me. Finally, if you don't find in the videos or in the Google, then you can come back to me. Okay, yes, you can share your screen.
No,
One
actually, I'm using another laptop. So maybe once again, I will try it. After that,
done.
so
Okay,
I
just
will
try
share the
with the,
screen later.
yeah, try with the videos first. Okay, just
Okay.
proceed as it is as per the recordings. Just blindly follow. Okay.
Okay, okay.
So of course, if you are listening the videos and all recordings and all, you can came to know, okay, so that you don't get that kind of issues.
Okay, okay.
Fine, fine. So and 1 minute, Mahalakshmi. So that .NET issue is fixed, right, for you?
Yes, Shanmugh, it got
Okay,
fixed.
so you have removed the .NET completely and reinstalled, or how it was fixed?
Yes, it has been removed and installed it. Before that, I forget to check the box.
Okay, got you, got you, got you. Okay, done. So SQL Server also installed, right?
Yes, gone. Yes, installed it.
Okay, done, done. Good, good. Yes, someone is asking the questions.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, Ajay, who is this?
Vishwanath.
Vishwanath.
Hi, Vish.
Can you please ping me? Okay, got you, got you. So you are joining through mobile or laptop?
Laptop.
Okay.
Laptop.
Next time while joining, please rename it. Okay, please rename it as a Vishwanath.
What name you are getting? Actually, I joined
I
it.
am getting Ajay. Ajay.
No.
Okay, so why? Because every time I can see the participants' names, and also if I see a new name, definitely I'll ask them to respond. Okay, so now I'm going to rename you. Next time while joining, you will get a chance to rename. Okay, rename it as a Vishwa. Okay, or Vishwanath. Okay, fine.
Okay.
Done, done. Okay. Who is this Vikyat Reddy? Is it your first class, Vikyat Reddy?
Yeah, first class.
Can you please ping me from your WhatsApp so that I can identify you?
Okay.
Okay, just please ping me from the WhatsApp. Any other questions, guys?
Bro, I have
Yes.
one small.
Yes, please.
Actually, I have installed SSMS previous 1 month back.
Okay.
That time I have installed 2019.
Okay.
Now I am installing 2018. Again, SSMS is required to install.
No. I'll tell you SSMS regarding SSMS now. Okay. So once you installed SSMS once, okay, no need to install again and again. One client is enough. Okay. For every SQL server, no need to install multiple management studios. One management studio is enough.
But I am trying to connecting in
That might be a
VMware, but
different
not
issue. That might be a different issue, but it's not like SSMS issue. Okay, using one SSMS, you can connect to multiple instances of different versions also. No issues at all. Okay, what issue you are getting while connecting? Your voice is breaking completely.
Not able to connecting SSMS in Windows Server.
I agree. You should get one error, right? So, do you remember what error it is? Okay, ours is batch 45, right? Let me start the VM. Yes, Vishwa. So, do you remember what is that error? Maybe network related instance error you will get, or 18456 error you will get. Lot of errors you will get while connecting. Okay, so if you remember the error name or error description, it will help me so that I can fix it, or send me the screenshot. Okay, fine, guys. Any other questions, please?
Yeah, Shinu, actually, after installing this Oracle Virtual Box, everything like OS, Windows 2012, and SQL Server, it is taking a lot of time to connect to the server. So, adding RAM, will it be speed up? Is
Correct.
it
How much RAM you gave for the VM?
2 GB?
2 GB. So initially with 2 GB also very less. Okay. See,
Yeah.
for Windows OS itself it will consume 2 GB, and again we are using applications inside the Windows OS. Agree? So it's
Yes.
of course you have to expect some delay if you are using 2 GB. How much RAM it is? Like how much RAM you are having?
Only 4 GB. 4 GB.
Only 4 GB. You cannot give more than 2 GB in that case. Do one
Yeah.
thing, extend the RAM so that, and increase the RAM for the VM. See, after creating the VM also, you can increase the RAM. Okay.
Okay.
You have to
Yeah.
shut down the VM and you can increase. See, for this VM, I want to increase the RAM. Go to the settings. Okay. Go to the system. Go to the system. You can increase it. It will allow you to edit this value. Okay, so
Okay.
no need to again create one more VM with a new RAM and all. You can shut down the, for me, if it is running, you cannot change it. Okay, if you go to this is already running, right? If you go to this and system and no need, you cannot change. Okay, it was grayed out. Okay, for that you have to stop the VM and extend the RAM. Okay, and then you can use it. Fine. So guys, what is the shortcut to start the VM? What is the shortcut to start the VM?
Double click.
Double click.
Double click.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, done. Okay, so double
And
click
what
it.
is the what is the processor you are using? Don't mind.
I am, see, mine is very basic machine. Okay, don't think I'm using a super machine. I'll show you. Okay,
No, mine is also basic. That's why in
MS
case.
Info 32. I'm using i3 processor with a 2 core only. You can see i3. Okay, 2 cores and with a 12 GB RAM.
Okay. So I think
Yeah.
so. This is the issue. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need
Okay.
to increase the RAM. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay. Done. Any other questions? Shilpa, please be in mute if you are not talking. Okay. Yes, thank you. Right, fine, guys. Okay. And what we can do now? Who is this Krishna and Gautam Krishna? Who is this Krishna and Gautam Krishna? Both are same or different? Gautam Krishna, I know. Who is this Krishna?
I'm Krishna.
Krishna, can you please ping me from your WhatsApp?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Sai Krishna Reddy, right?
Yeah.
You just renamed it. Okay. Got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. No need to ping me in the WhatsApp. Okay. Done. Wrish Yadav, Shilpa, Ambrish, Chandrasekhar. Okay, done. Chandrasekhar done. Bashir, Chandrababu. Okay. Bashir means Suryas, right? Rojan Subarna, Gautam, Krishna, Mahalakshmi, Manasa, Morris, Muthu, Sairam, Shailendra, Sharvani, Srikanth, Vishwa. Done, guys. Okay. Let me connect to the server.
More doubt is there?
Yes, please. You can ask.
Any textbook is there for this Sql Server DBA?
No, you will get some ebooks, okay?
Okay.
But it will create lot of confusion. I'm going to provide you the notes.
Okay.
Initially, just follow with the notes. Once you are comfortable for the extra knowledge and all, you can follow the notes, okay? At this moment, if you follow any why? Because of course, every textbook will cover lot of things, right? So you start confusing by then onwards. So just once this course is completed, then go through the textbook. You can came to know the things and all. Extra cheese, you are going to get it, okay?
Okay.
Done. So now I'm going to connect to the servers, guys. First of all, I have to check what is the IP address. So for that, I'm going to log into the machine directly. This is the direct login, okay? And then I have to check the IP of the machine. How can I check the IP of the machine? Any machine?
IP config.
IP config. Okay, where I have to run IP config?
Command prompt.
In which command prompt? Local command prompt or server command prompt? Server command prompt. Okay, go to this server Windows button, open run. Okay, you can use Windows R, but you are going to be confused. Okay, CMD IP config. Okay, so now you can see 192.168. Mostly if you are using the same internet, your IP address won't be changed. If you change the internet to mobile hotspot and all, then your IP address will be changed. So make sure if the connection is closed suddenly, check the IP address again. Then you can connect to the servers with the new IP address. You can pin this RDP. Okay, how I got this RDP here? Okay, simply just type RDP in the start button, right click, pin to taskbar. Okay, where is that? Here I can see unpin, as I have already pinned. For you, you can see pin to taskbar or start bar. If you pin to start bar, you can see here in the start menu. If you pin to taskbar, you can see this is the taskbar. You can see on the task menu. Okay, done, guys. Okay, so let me click on this. Now the IP address is 192.168.1.12, right? Yes, the same IP address is there. Click on connect. right? And 1 2 3, don't tell my password to anyone, okay? Right. See guys, if you are connected through a remote, then only you can see the full screen, okay? If you are connected directly, you cannot see full screen. This is direct connection, right? Up to this much only you can see. If you try to maximize also, you can see like this, okay? You cannot see full screen. There are two issues with the direct connections. One is you cannot copy from local to server if you are connected directly, okay? And second one is you did not get the full screen option, okay, with the direct server. Whereas if you connected through remote, okay, you can copy the things from local laptop to the server, first thing. Second thing is you can see a real-time environment, okay, a real-time setup. This is how the real-time servers will be, this is how the real-time interface will be, okay? Fine, chalo. Now I'm going to open SQL Server Management Studio. So can anyone tell me how to open SSMS?
In search, just type publish.
Okay, so just go to start button, type SS or SSMS, you can type anything. If anyone started the video, you can stop it, okay? Video as of now not required. In the future, I'll ask you to start the videos, okay? Right. Shilpa, I'm stopping your video, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, done. I just stopped your video. Done. Let me go to the server. Yeah. So initially it will take some time, guys, to open the management studio. Depends upon your RAM capacity and all. Right, okay. So you can see this window now. This is called Management Studio, guys. So while connecting to the Management Studio, means Management Studio, you can open it once you install SQL Server. It don't give you any Management Studio. What you have to do, you have to install Management Studio separately, okay? Up to SQL Server 2014, you can install Management Studio through SQL Server installation, okay? While doing SQL Server installation, we'll select features, right? I don't know how many of you remember. So we'll select feature screen, database engine, replication, full text, and shared features will select, right? There we'll have an extra option called management tools. If you select that management tools, then automatically Management Studio will be installed during the installation. This is up to SQL Server 2014. From 2016 onwards, Microsoft separated the Management Studio so that once you install the SQL Server, again you have to install Management Studio separately. Okay, so no need to install multiple versions of Management Studio. Like how we have SQL Server versions, we have multiple versions of Management Studio. SQL Server Management Studio 16, 17, 18. The currently the latest version is 19, I guess. The upcoming version is 19, but there is no big difference. Okay, in the Management Studio, Management Studio is just a client, guys. Any server will have client server architecture. Client means a tool which will help to connect to the server. Client means it is a tool which will help to connect to the servers. Okay, so for us SSMS is a tool. By using this management studio, we can connect to the SQL servers. Okay, running SQL servers. If the server is stopped, we cannot connect. Okay, right. So while connecting, I want to connect to the SQL server, right? So immediately, if you open SSMS, immediately you will get this kind of pop-up. Okay, by mistake, if you did not get this pop-up, what you have to do? This is the connect button. Okay, click on this connect button, kind of charger kind of thing. You can see icon. Okay, then you can see this connect to SQL server. So to which component you want to connect? I want to connect to the SQL server, then select to database engine. You want to connect to the this one analysis services, then you can just click on the drop down. You can select the services, which component you want. You can select to the, you can particularly select that component and you can connect to the component, guys. As a DBS, our work will be on database engine only. So 99% we are going to connect to the database engine only. Database engine means your SQL server. Here it will ask you the server name. You have to tell the server name, right? So in the same Windows machine, how many instances I can install, guys? In one Windows
50.
machine,
50.
50 instances I can install, right? 50 1 plus 49 named instances. So if I can install 50 instances, to which instance you want to connect? Instance means one SQL server software copy is called one instance. One SQL server software copy is called one instance. So like that, imagine at least 4 instances are there in this machine. To which instance I want to connect? I have to give the server name, right? So this is the server name to which instance you want to connect. Here in this section, you have to give the server name. If it is a default instance, you have to give the computer name. This is computer name, guys. How can I find computer name? Can anyone help me? How to find computer name or server name? How to find a server name?
Type in
Select
CMD.
that
Select
server.
Host name.
Host name. Okay, that is one way. Second way is go to this folder. Okay, just open this folder. You can see this PC. Okay, you can go to the properties. There you can see server name, computer name or full computer name. Both are server names only. Okay, you can see here. Okay, if you see here, both are same. Just let me minimize this window. Yeah, see here, Win9P3C4TJUN4. Okay, Win9P3C4TJUN4. Okay, so computer name default instance. Okay, computer name will be the instance name, guys. That's why it will automatically pull the computer name. Other way is you can use command prompt. You can type host name. This is very important. So you can get the computer name, guys. Okay, this is the computer name. Okay, right, don't give any spaces and all, just host name. Fine. So this is my computer name, right? Fine. So now this is the authentication type. How you are going to connect to the server? How you are going to connect to the server? This is to which component you are connecting. This is in that components which instance, which server you are connecting, and this is how you are going to connect. What credentials you are going to use to connect. So there are two types of authentication modes. One is Windows authentication mode. Second one is SQL Server authentication mode. This is for different Azure Active Directory and all. We don't use it. One is Windows authentication and second one is SQL Server authentication. Right. If you select Windows authentication, it is not asking any username and password. If you select SQL Server authentication, it is asking username and password. Regarding this, regarding this authentication, there is a concept called security, SQL Server security. In the SQL Server security, I'll explain what is Windows authentication, what is mixed mode authentication, what is the difference between Windows and mixed mode authentication. Mixed mode means SQL Server authentication. Okay. As of now, Windows authentication, select Windows authentication and you can click connect, guys. Windows authentication means, simply I'll give you a brief about this. Windows authentication. Authentication means process of verifying your username and password. See, if you open Gmail, you will give username and password, right? That is called authentication. Means it will verify whether you are giving correct username and the respective password for that username, whether both are matched or not. That will be taken care by the Gmail servers. In the same way, if you choose Windows authentication, Windows means Windows level authentication. once you started the VM, right? Once you started this VM, you opened the RDP connection, right? Just you open a RDP connection and you gave one username and password, right? What is the username, guys? What is the username? Administrator. And for this administrator, you give one password, right? This is the administrator username and this is the password. Using these two, you just entered into the Windows machine, right? Agree? Correct. And what is the username you are connected? Using administrator. Means what is the Windows authentication username? Administrator. Administrator, right? This is called Windows authentication. Means using the Windows credentials. What are the Windows credentials? Administrator is the username and administrator password. We have already verified right here in the screen. We gave the username as administrator. We gave the password for this username. Here we have already successfully verified, right? That's why we are able to log into this machine, right? Correct, guys? Correct. While connecting to the server remotely, we'll give one username, we'll give one password. So it was successfully verified in the OS level. That's why it is allowed us to connect to the servers remotely. Agree? Right? Fine. So Windows authentication means it will use the same authentication. It don't ask for the extra credentials. Hey, Shanmukh, you already verified as a successfully, okay, you verified as a successful user in the Windows level. Why again need to give the password and all? Chalo, do one thing, just select Windows authentication. So if your user is present in the SQL server, I'll allow you to connect to the SQL server, guys. This user, see here, this user Windows server name / administrator. Actually, while connecting, we gave the same, right? The server name / administrator. So that's why it will use. I'm not saying if you select Windows authentication, it don't verify any username and password. It will verify, but it's already verified in the Windows level. So that's why next time it don't verify. If you select SQL Server authentication, it will ask extra username and extra password. Okay, that I'm going to explain during the security classes. As of now, Windows authentication means it will use your computer username and password. Okay, just click on connect. So that's why it's not asking password. Fine. Sometimes you might get different errors, guys, while connecting to the server. Okay, so what are the different errors? Let me stop this. Okay, let me stop. Wantedly I'm stopping. In the organization, don't stop any server, guys. Wantedly I'm stopping just to show you what kind of errors we are going to get. Okay, fine. So I'm going to connect to the same server again. Okay, right, it was stopped. Just click on this connect button. Again you can connect to the same server. I'm not changing the server name. Now this time if you are trying to connect, now this time it won't connect, guys. Why? Because we can connect to the server if the server is up and running. If the server is stopped, we cannot connect. If the server is stopped, we cannot connect. Right? You will get an error. See here, a big error you will get. I'll show you that error and all, so that next time you won't be confused. 1 minute, I'll show you that error. Okay. Right, now you can see, right, a network related information, a network related or instance specific error occurred while establishing connection to SQL Server. See, guys, listen carefully. If you got any error, first read the error completely. That is the best way of troubleshooting. Why? Because in the error itself, it will tell you the troubleshooting steps. What we'll do if you got any error immediately, oh my god, I got an error, I don't know how to troubleshoot. You even don't read the error completely. The best way, if you want to become a best troubleshooter, first you should have a patience to read the complete error. So here just read the complete error. A network related or instance specific error occurred while establishing a connection to SQL Server. The SQL Server was not found or was not able to access. Verify that the instance name is correct and that SQL server is configured to allow remote connections. Named pipes error, error 40, could not open a connection to SQL Server, Microsoft error 2. What it is saying? The server is not found. Okay, the server is not found. When you will get this error in two scenarios, you will get the same error. What is the What are the two scenarios, guys? One is if the server is not up and running. The second scenario is if you give the wrong server name. Okay, if you give the wrong server name, it cannot find the server name, guys. Okay, in these two scenarios, generally you will get this error. One is if the SQL server is not up and running. Second one is you gave the wrong scenario, wrong server name. In these two scenarios, you don't get the you don't get the connection. You will get this kind of error, guys. Okay, the system cannot find the file specified. Just click OK, cancel it, and of course you can start from here also, but let me disconnect. This is the disconnect button, guys. This is the disconnect button. You can disconnect the server. Okay, let me start the SQL server from services.msc. Go to run, just type services.msc and hit enter. Done. So fine, you can see all the services here, not only SQL server, you can see all the services here. Just what you can do is you can see the services are not in alphabetical order, right? You can see W, then D, then W, then H, not in alphabetical order. Click on the name column. It will be arranged in alphabetical orders. Okay, A services, services starting with B, services starting with C, you can see here. Select any service, just hit yes. Okay, yes, then you can see all the services that are starting with yes. Now you can see this is your SQL Server service, guys. Listen carefully. I'll explain, okay, about these services now. When you install SQL Server, when you install one SQL Server, you will get multiple services, guys. You will get multiple services. How many services you will get? Just count, guys, how many services are there with SQL. How many services are there with SQL? Starting you can see SQL, right? Just count how many services are there. 6. Okay, right. So you will get 6 services when you install one SQL server. You will get 6 services, guys. When you install one SQL server, you will get 6 services. You should learn this. This is very important. Okay, what service will do what kind of things. If the service is stopped, how to start it. Okay, everything you have to learn, guys. So when you install SQL server, one instance, one SQL server, you will get 6 services for the first time. Okay, next time how many services you will get? 4. Okay, good. Okay, so I'll tell you how many services you will get. Okay, out of 6 services, 4 services are shared services. Out of 6 services, 4 services are shared services. Okay, and 4 services are specific services, and remaining 2 services are shared services. Sir, how to identify which one is specific, which one is shared and all? I'll tell you. Okay, I will tell you, guys. Nothing to worry. Where is that font? Right. Okay, and let me increase this font as well. Font. Right. Okay, so for one instance, how many services you will get? 6 services for the first time. Okay, out of the 6, 4 are specific services and 2 are shared services. How to identify which one is specific, which one is shared, guys? If you see here, again the PG example. If you are staying in a PG, what you are going to do? We have an habit, right? At least on our plates and all, we'll write our name, right? At least to make sure they are not exchanged with others, right? On your plate, on your glass, you are going to write at least one mark or one name. At least something will be there that it belongs to you, right? So you can see the name in the brackets, guys. You can see the name in the brackets. That is called specific service. Okay, if you see the name in the brackets, that is called specific services. And you can see for shared services, you don't see any name. Why? Because you know, right, in the PG, the washing machine and all, you know that it belongs to the PG, right? You know that it belongs to the PG. So you don't see any name on the washing machine, on the ceiling fan, on the TV. You don't see any name, right? So if you don't see any name, that is called a shared service. Shared service will exist only once per instance. Shared service will exist only once per instance, guys. Is it clear? shared service will exist only once per not per instance, per machine. Just a minute, guys. Just a minute. Who is this Subbarao? Who is this Subbarao, guys? Subbarao, can you please unmute?
Sir. I need to join, sir.
Sorry?
I need to join in.
Okay, can you please ping me from your WhatsApp?
Yes, sir.
Do you have my number?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just please ping me from your WhatsApp. Okay, done. Oh, okay, got you,
Yes,
Subbarao.
sir.
Okay, no issues. Right, okay, fine. Where is that? Yes, go to the server. Right, now if you see here, total 6 services are there. Out of 6, 4 are specific services, 2 are shared services. These shared services will exist only once per the whole Windows machine, guys. Okay, only once means only for the first time these 2 services are going to be installed. Only for the first time these 2 services are going to be installed. Next time if I install one more instance, you will get 4 more extra services. Okay, full text service for that second instance, database engine service for that second instance, agent service for that second instance, SQL Server CAIP service for that second instance. Now next time you don't get again browser service and VSS writer and all. These two are shared services. Shared services will exist only once for the whole Windows machine. Whole Windows machine, not for SQL Server. Whole Windows machine, you can see only 2 shared services. Okay, they are going to exist only once per Windows machine. Right, next time you are installing one more instance, 4 more services will be added. Second instance, 4 more services will be added. Third instance, 4 more services will be added. Okay, so it will keep adding 4 services for each instance, guys. This is how you can see. Now I want to start the SQL Server service. Okay, this is the main database engine, guys. If you want to start SQL Server or if you want to stop SQL Server, you have to start or stop this service. This is the main service, SQL Server. Just SQL Server in the brackets, instance name will be there. This MS SQL Server is the instance name. So this is the main service. If you start the main service, other services will be started. Right click, you can start it. This is how you can start the SQL Server, guys. Okay, right now if you see here, the status is running. You can see the status is running. So agent service you want to start, again right click, start it. Okay, so agent service is responsible for automation, guys. I'll tell you about the SQL Server agent service. Now go to this, again click on connect button. Last time we got an error, right? Last time we got an error. Okay, last time we got an error again. Who joined? Sai Krishna. Sai Krishna, do you have any connection issues?
Yeah.
Okay,
There is
done.
this Wi-Fi problem is there in my home.
Okay, done. Fine. So you can see here, you can see the server name. Okay, just click on connect again. Right, this is how we are going to connect, guys. See here, if you see a play button, that means the service is up and running, guys. You can see a play button here, that means SQL Server is up and running. See, sometimes you can see a question mark here, sometimes you can see red stop button here. So you can see different icons here. Okay, so generally if you see a play button means the SQL Server is up and running, guys. So let me show you one thing. Right. This is your SQL Server, guys. Let me expand this. You can just click here. Okay, it was disconnected, guys. I'm having some internet issue. my packets are dropping in the middle. So that's why my remote connection will be disconnected sometimes. Like this, it will show you as reconnecting. Okay, it will go for 5 attempts. If it is unable to connect in the 5 attempts, your RDP connection will be closed. Again, you have to connect to the server remotely. Okay, just wait for a second. It will be established again. Not connecting. Third attempt. Okay, let me cancel it. Don't know what happened. Let me check the server IP address again. Okay, I'm just connecting to the server remotely, sorry, directly, and you can see whatever I opened, you can see the same status here. Okay, let me check the IP address. What happened? Why it is not connecting? IP config. Okay, where is that IP address? Default gateway I can see 255.169. I don't see IPv4, right? It will be like this, IPv4. What happened to this machine? You can see here, guys, you will face this kind of issues, guys. See here, you can see a warning symbol on the computer button. Okay, you can see warning symbol on this computer button. So what you have to do is right click here and just open network share. No need to open. You can click on troubleshooting option. Okay, right click here, right click, right click, troubleshooting problems, troubleshoot problems. Okay, so what you can do is it will detect the problem and all, it will fix automatically. Just click on troubleshoot problem. Make sure here you don't see any warning symbol, guys. Okay, sometimes you also going to face this issue, so this is how you have to fix it. Right now you can see here the warning symbol is gone, and if you click here you can see internet access. Last time you can see no internet access and all. Now you can see internet access. Okay, so the issue is fixed. Ethernet does not have valid IP. Now this is fixed. You can see here, close it. Right now again let me check the IP address. This time I'll get the IPv4 IP config. Right now I can see IPv4 address on 92.168, same IP address. Now let me reconnect again. You will get this kind of errors, guys. 1 2 3 again. Okay, done. Click yes. All right. Fine. So let me go to the management studio. Right, so now if you expand this one, just expand, click here, just keep your cursor here, you will get this kind of icon. Just expand this. So first is your instance name, guys. This portion is your instance name. You can see the server name, SQL server name, which version it belongs to, the build number 14.0.1000.169. So what is this 14.0? Which version it belongs to?
17.
SQL server 2018, right?
17.
2018.
2017.
No, 2018. 2018, guys.
17.
Right.
17.
Okay. Thank you for that. 2017. There is no 2018. Okay. So 2017, you can see here 14.0.1000.169, and this is your connection. Like what login you use to connect to the SQL server. What login? So while connecting, you can see the username, right? This one. Okay. So by using this login, you are connecting to the SQL server, right? So you can see that login name here. 3 parts, it will contain 3 parts. First is server name, second one is bill number, third part is your login name, with which login you are connected to this SQL server. Okay, fine. And you can see other objects. See, in SQL server everything will call it as an object only. This is one object. Databases, security is one object, server objects is one object, replication is one object, polyways one object, always on one object, management one object. Like this, everything is an object only. If you expand, you can see the databases. Again, in databases you can see 2 objects: system databases, database snapshots. If you expand system databases, you can see 4 system databases. These are master, model, MSDB, TempDB. We are going to cover this system databases. Okay, nothing to worry. So, and you can see database snapshots and all. This is a separate concept. Database snapshots means it will take the snapshot of the particular database. Snapshot means kind of a backup, kind of a snap. Okay, right. You can see security. Security is very important. We have a separate classes on security. If you go to the login section, if anyone want to connect to this SQL server, he should be a member of this logins section, guys. He should be a member of this login section if anyone wants to connect to the SQL server. For example, now we have almost 19 participants. Okay, for example, let's go with alphabetical order. First I can see Shilpa. Okay, if Shilpa wants to connect to the same SQL server, okay, I should create a login to Shilpa here. I should create a login to Shilpa, then only Shilpa can connect to the SQL server. No matter who you are, you might be a security guard in the company, you might be a company CEO also. I am company CEO, I should have access. No, not like that. Okay, if you are a company CEO, request a ticket or just request the DBA team. They are going to create a login for CEO, then only CEO also can log in. Okay, you cannot say to SQL server, hey, I am a company CEO, please allow me to log in. You don't know what is meant by CEO and all. Okay, simply if you are part of this list, then only it will allow you to connect. See here, this login, the login you can see here, you can see while installing the SQL server, will select one option called add current user. In that screen, whatever users you are adding, for them, it will create logins in the login section. Okay, during the installation, we have selected add current user. That's why it just created a login. So that's why I am able to connect to the SQL server. If someone deleted this login, now I cannot connect to the SQL server using this account. I have to use a separate account. So if anyone wants to connect to the SQL server, they should be members of this logins section. Otherwise, no matter who you are, you cannot connect to the SQL server, guys. Is it clear, everyone? You can see the login name here, right? I just used this login name, as this login name is present inside the SQL server security. So that's why I'm able to connect to the SQL server with the same login name. Okay, guys, just 1 minute. Huh? Guys, okay, someone is unmuted. Okay, so it will be recorded, guys. It will create some problems. Let me mute you all. If you have questions, you can unmute and you can ask me, and again you can go to mute. Okay, fine. So like this it will work, guys. You should be member of this login section, then only you can able to connect to the SQL server. Only these persons can able to connect to the SQL server. You might ask, sir, how you got all these accounts? These are the default accounts. Once you install SQL server, by default you will get all these accounts, okay, up to SA 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, total 9 accounts you are going to get it. Okay, by default you will get 9 accounts automatically. This one I just added during the installation. Fine. And you can see server roles and all. We'll discuss about the security in the security classes. Server objects, linked servers, you can see some different server objects and all. Okay, replication is a separate feature. I am going to explain about replication in the HADR. Okay, high availability and disaster recovery classes. Polybase, this is a new feature. Always on high availability is also like it's a big feature. It's a wonderful feature, guys. Very important feature. Most of the interviewers definitely will touch this always on high availability. Why? Because 99.99% people will use high availability feature. It's an excellent feature, I'll tell you. Management, you can see different options like maintenance plans, database mail. Okay, so different options. You can see SQL Server error logs and all. See, management is also very important. You can see SQL Server error logs in the management. Okay, there is an option called SQL Server Logs. Expand SQL Server Logs. You can see different error logs. Okay, these are the error logs, guys. You can see up to 6 means 1 to 6 plus 1 7 error logs are there. Okay, So in this error logs, it will record each and everything. Error logs means don't think only errors will be recorded. No, every entry will be recorded. Every entry will be recorded. If you double click on it, you can open the error log. You can see the entries. Since from the starting, see when I started the SQL Server today morning, 30th/7/2022 at 7:49, I just restarted, right? I just restarted the server. So that's why you can see 7:49, and you can see here these are the entries. Okay, how to read the error log? If you want old error, the oldest error you can see in the bottom, guys. Okay, from the beginning it just recorded each and everything. It will detect the number of processes, and it will detect the authentication mode. It will detect the startup parameters, and it will detect the RAM, how much RAM it is, everything it will detect. It will detect the collation settings. Like that, if you go through the error log, you can came to know lot of things, guys. Lot of new terminologies you can see in the error log. So the recent error will be on top, the old error will be in the bottom, guys. The old error will be in the bottom. Okay, this is how it will work generally, right? Fine. Okay, so this is how you have to read the error log. So we'll discuss it about error log later, guys. You can minimize it. Database mail will help you to send emails using SQL Server and all, and this agent will help you. This integration services catalog will help you for SSIS packages, guys. Okay, we don't touch this one. Agent will help you for the automation purpose. Okay, to automate the backups, to automate the restores, to automate some other application related stuff and all. We are going to use SQL Server agent. Under agent we will have jobs. We have to create the jobs for the automation purpose and all. These are the sorry guys, objects that will found in the SQL Server. Okay, this is your SQL Server instance name. Okay, and this is your refresh button, guys. Whatever you are doing, you have to make sure refresh the things, otherwise you don't see. For example, if I create any new database, immediately you cannot see here. You have to refresh it, then only I can see. Whatever you are doing, make sure you're refreshing the things and all. Okay, this is your connect button. I want to connect to one more instance. Click on connect, and okay, this time what I'm going to do, I'll give you one more name and I'll try to connect, guys. Okay, so can I connect?
No, it will
No.
not tell.
Why?
It is default to Windows authentication is only one. You want to change
What I have to change?
named instance, server name.
Named instance. Okay, how to change server name? I have to change. I just change it, right? Server name.
No.
I just changed the server name, right?
In services, we cannot
But
see.
that one is not there, no, sir.
Very good.
We
Okay,
need to
this
install this
instance
one
is
first of
not
all.
there. Okay, this instance is not there. That's why I cannot connect. If the server is not there, server is not found, I cannot connect. If it is there, then only I can connect. Okay, so that's okay. Click OK. So in this way, if you want to connect to another instance, you have to change the instance name and you have to connect, guys. This is how we are going to connect to the second instance. Like that, multiple instances you can connect in the Management Studio. This is called Object Explorer. Okay, this is called what? Object Explorer. In the Object Explorer, you can see the connected instances. What and all instances are connected, you can see the connected instances in the Object Explorer, guys. Okay, fine. Don't close this. Don't close this. If you close it again, it will be difficult to attach it again. Okay, you have to open to tools. You have to go to tools and you have to attach the Object Explorer, but it will be difficult. You don't get this kind of layout. This is a beautiful layout so that you can see the servers here and you can write the queries here. I'll show you. Right now, you want to write one query. Okay, now you want to write the query, you want to execute some queries. Okay, how to write the queries and all? Using the Management Studio, you can connect to the servers and you can execute queries also. How to execute a query? In multiple ways you can open a query window. One is a new query window. You can select one query window will open here. Okay, and another way is there is a shortcut, keyboard shortcut, that is called Control N. Let me increase the font to 150% so that you can see the commands clearly. Right, if you want to open one more query window, another way is also there. Right click, new query window. If you want to open using keyboard shortcut, select select this and use Control plus N keyboard shortcut. It will open one more query window. Okay, this is one query window, this is one more query window, this is another query window, guys. You can see 3 query windows are opened. Okay, each query window will have its own number, that is called SQL process ID. Okay, process ID, this is called process ID. 59, 60, 61 process IDs are unique, guys. Okay, right now I want to run one query. I want to see the version of the SQL server, guys. What is the query?
Great version was.
Select
At the rate
use
Great
space.
version.
Okay, version, guys. Right, so let me write like this, versions. Okay, so if you see here, there is a red mark here, right? You can see red mark. That means if you see the red mark like this, that means it's an error, guys. Your query, there is a wrong in your query, there is a mistake in your query. If you see red mark, red line like this, there is a mistake in your query. Blue words, you can see blue color words. Blue color words are always, okay, keywords. We have a syntaxes. Okay, we have syntaxes. Select, there is a different meaning for select. That means if you run select, in the background one logic will run, so that is called a keyword. You cannot run that logic every time. For that there is a shortcut is there, that is called keyword or syntax. Okay, or command, you can call it as whatever it is. Okay, so if you see select, which is in blue color, not only select, I want to say, if you see anything in the blue color, that is a syntax, guys. You can call it as a keyword. There is a different meaning for that. Okay, right, now if you see the red line, okay, just remove this. You know what is the error, just remove it. Now you can see red line will be gone. That means if you see any red line, that means there is an error in your query or script, guys. Okay, chalo. Right, now I want to execute this. Before executing, I can use parse button. You can see the parse button here. You can just click on this parse button. Parse button will help you to find any syntax errors. Parse button will help you to find out any syntax errors. Okay, this is very small query, right? No issues. For example, let me write like this: select star from, okay, sys processes, okay, where status is equal to something like running. Okay, so now if I want to execute, you can see already there is an error here, running. You can see red mark. Okay, before executing, you can still parse it. It will tell you whether the query is right or wrong. See, sometimes it will tell you it will complete it successfully, but if you execute it, okay, if you select and execute, just a minute, the connection was closed, just a minute. This is the issue with the internet, guys. Okay, I'm using Airtel, still the same issue. Right, okay, so if you select it and if you want to execute it, you can just click on execute button. You can click on execute button. Okay, just give me 1 minute. I'll be back, just 1 minute.
లేదు ఇది ఎవరో వచ్చారు శ్రావణ మాసం మొదలైంది కదా అన్నదా.
Right, okay, so if you see here, there is an error actually. If you are while running, you can see that error. Here also you can see there is an error. Sometimes while parsing will tell you if any errors are there. Okay, if you run it, sometimes it will tell you command completed successfully and all, but actually there is an error. You can identify like this. Okay, fine. So just want to say one thing, this will help you to parse the query. Parse means it will just, it is going to check whether your query is right or wrong. That's it, guys. It will just check whether your query is right or wrong. Okay, it won't execute the query. Okay, if you just click on this, it is showing as command completed successfully. That doesn't mean it just executed the query. It just checked whether the query is right or wrong. Okay, then finally you can see if you want to execute. Okay, this is the execute button. This is the execute button. Click on execute. Now you can get the output. Double click on it, you can see the complete output. Okay, so guys, either you can use this button to execute. This is like using GUI, or you can select, you can use, there is a keyboard shortcut F5, function keys F5. Okay, that also will help you to execute the query. Or there is one more option called Alt plus X. Alt plus X, guys. Alt plus X will help you to execute the queries. I usually I'll use Alt X. It is easy for me. Okay, so Alt X. So what I'm going to do this time, I'm going to run using Alt X, guys. Okay, in this way also you can execute. So in 3 ways you can execute the query. One is just by clicking on the execute button. Second one is, okay, selecting. See guys, if you don't select anything, if you click execute, then what it is throwing? It is simply throwing the error, right? Means
Yes,
it will
correct.
try to execute all the queries. If you don't select anything in the window, this is one window, right? So like that, see here I just connected. In this window some other user might be connected. In this window some extra, like here imagine Krishna is connected, here Chinasubana is connected, here some other user is connected. So like that people are going to connect to the, so like that people are going to connect to the server using different sessions. In this case, in my case, I just opened 3 sessions, right? But in the organization, one user will be connected to the same server. Okay, it will create one session. Another user will be connected to the same server and he's running some queries, it will create one more session. So like that, how many users are connected to the servers, that many sessions will be created. Okay, is it clear, guys? Any questions, any doubts, please? Any questions till now? No questions? Fine. Okay, so you can see here, so if you don't select anything, it will try to execute all the queries in that window. If you want to run a specific query, even though I have 2 queries, I want to run this specific query, select it and execute it, only that query will run. If you select this query and if you execute it, only that query will run. Okay, if you don't select and if you click execute, whatever queries are there in that window, the whole script itself will be executed. If you have 3 queries, 4 queries, 10 queries, 100 queries are there in that window. If you don't select any query, if you click execute, it will execute all the queries, guys. It will execute all the queries, right? So this is how it will work, guys. Let me reconnect again. Right, fine. This is how it will work. Fine. So for this, the solution is you have to keep it in quotes. Okay, just running, right? So now the error is gone and you can execute it. Okay, this is how you can fix it. Okay, so while giving the string value, character value, you have to keep it in single quotes, guys. Okay, right. And one more thing you have to remember, while executing any query, make sure on which database you are executing the query. Make sure on which database. This is very important, guys. On which database you are executing the query is very important. Okay, so you can change the database context from here. You can see as of now you can see only 4 system databases. You don't see any user databases. Why? Because there are no user databases. I want to run the same query on another database. Select the database and run it. Some queries are system related queries. Okay, you can execute it on any database, no issues. But I'll tell you one scenario. While creating tables and all, while creating tables, while inserting records, while deleting the tables, you should be very careful on which database you are executing these queries. Okay, I'll tell you while creating the databases and all, while creating the tables also. Fine. Any issues, guys? Any doubts? See, once this is done, once your work is completed, you can close this window. It will give you one pop-up. Do you want me to save this query or not? If you want to save it, yes. If you don't want to save it, no. Generally, we don't save the queries. We'll write a lot of queries. We know these queries, right? Selected version, sys.sys processes. Why we have to save these queries? Simply you can select no, so that the window will be closed, guys. See, the window is closed. like that. If you want to close, there are no queries right now. If you click close button, simply it will be closed. There are no queries. If you have queries, it will ask you to save the queries. If you don't have any queries, it will simply close the window, guys. If you want to close the whole SSMS, you can close it. Guys, can I close the SSMS? Or anything will happen to my SQL server if I close the SSMS? My work is completed, guys. Now my shift is done. I want to go to home, or simply I want to log off from the server. Now, can I close the SSMS? If I close the SSMS,
Yes.
my SQL server will be up and running, or it will be stopped.
It is
Sir, it
I
will
need
be
a,
running and
wait. I need answers from everyone. Please participate in the chat. Okay, just type your answers in the chat, guys. I want to see your answers, please. I need answers from everyone. Almost 18 participants are there. I mean, like 17. Please try to respond, guys. It's very important. So once I closed the SSMS, is my SQL server, or is SQL server going to be stopped or not? Only 9 people are responded till now. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Fine. Good, guys. Good. Okay. Let's check the answers. Hi, Ajay. Okay, sorry, it's my chart, right? Muttu says yes. Ajay says no, bro. Hi, bro. Vishwa not able to connect to SSMS Windows server. What are okay? These are the different messages, right? Muttu no. Shabana no. So no means what? What is meant by no? Your SQL server will be stopped. Okay. Sharwani, maybe we should disconnect SSMS and then close it. Okay. Subbarao no. Vishwa up and down. What is this up and down? So you wish what answer you want to take the answer. Mahalakshmi, no, it won't stop. Very good. Sairam stopped. Morris not. Vishwa server. Manasa no. Sai Krishna no. Chandrasekhar, no, it will not stop. Bashir, no. Shailendra, yes, we can close, and SQL server is not going to be stopped. Okay, good. Chinsubana stopped. It is up and running only. Safe practice is to stop the server, close the window. Oh, okay. Srikanth, not. Okay, I will not stop. Okay, Shabana, Sai Krishna, no need to stop. Okay, I saw multiple people give multiple responses. Okay, that's fine. Not stopped the server. Okay, guys, the answer is, guys, once your work is done, you can close the management studio. If you close the management studio, nothing will happen to your SQL server. Okay, nothing will happen to your SQL server. SQL server should be up and running, guys. SQL server should be up and running 24/7 by 365 days. Otherwise, if you open amazon.com, chalo, my SSMS is closed now, I don't respond any queries and all, it won't work like that. This server should be up and running 24/7 by 365 days. This SSMS is a tool. Okay, this SSMS is a tool to connect to the instances. If you have any work, you will connect to the instance, you will complete your work, and again you will disconnect. That doesn't mean your SQL server will be stopped, guys. It won't be stopped. Okay, and that doesn't mean you have to stop it. No need to stop the SQL server. Don't stop the C. Once your work is completed, okay, chalo, my work is completed. I told you, right, multiple people are going to connect to the server, and applications will be connected to the server. If you stop the SQL server, your applications will be down, and the people also cannot work, cannot run their queries and all. Okay, so it's not like whatever work we have, we'll complete our work, we'll stop the server. No, we are working for the application team. If they have any requirements, they will connect to the server, they will complete it. What is our work? We should manage the SQL servers. We should maintain the SQL servers. Okay, for maintaining and managing purpose, we will have some queries, right? That queries will run. That doesn't mean only for our purpose SQL server is there. No, for application purpose SQL server is there. Okay, we are there to make sure the server is up and running 24/7 by 365 days. Okay, guys, so your SQL server won't be stopped if you close the SSMS also. and don't stop it to close the SSMS. It should be up and running, guys. Fine. What is the time now? Let me check. It is showing 7:55. What is the time now, guys? 8:20. Okay, do one thing.
8:21.
Do one thing. Okay, just take a break. Take a break for 15 minutes and come back. We'll discuss other things, guys. Okay. Right. You can take a break and you can come back, guys.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Wait, is going. Okay, let me open this timer. Right. Yes, are we back?
Yes.
Okay. So let me go back. Let me check. Okay, fine. Right, and let me go to the server. Right, fine, guys. So any issues, any doubts till now? Any questions? Any questions? No questions? Guys, is it clear at
In
least?
my
Yes, please.
no,
Yeah.
in my SQL server, I am not getting always on high availability option.
There are two ways. Okay, so when you will get always on high availability, not getting means you are getting error like this.
Nothing.
Which version it
Not
is? Which version it is?
2019.
2019.
Yeah.
So in two cases you won't get this always on feature. Okay, one is if you are using Express Edition. Okay, if you are using Express
Right.
Edition, then there is no always on feature. Okay, always on feature is introduced from Developer Edition. Okay, and if you are using SQL Server versions less than 2012, if you are using SQL Server versions less than 2012, 2000, 2005, 2008, 8 or 2, there is no always on feature. Okay, so in these two cases you don't see always on high availability feature. Okay. Yeah. Any other questions? You can see the edition. You can see the edition, right? Select edit version and check the edition. Might be it is a 19 SQL Server 2019 Express edition, I guess.
Yes, Express.
Okay, done. That's why you don't have always on high availability feature. Right. Any other questions, guys? Any other questions?
Yes, how to move that one into developer version?
Sorry?
Yes.
Developer, you
That
have to install developer edition. You have to
right.
install developer edition. While installing, you have to choose developer. Okay, there are three options: Express, Evaluation, Developer. Those three are free editions, right? You can choose the developer edition while installing so that you can install the developer edition. Yeah. Any questions, guys? Any doubts? Any questions, doubts?
If someone asks to install SQL Server,
Okay.
so I mean, if they give one server and ask us to install the SQL Server, so what permissions we need to have initially before proceeding with the SQL Server installation?
See, generally we are DBAs. DBAs means database administrators. Administrators should have local admin permissions. Okay, two people will have local admin permissions. One is Windows team, of course. Windows team, they are going to handle Windows activities. And as a SQL DBAs, we should have local admin permissions. Why? Because we are going to copy the files between the folders, sometimes backup files and all. We are going to delete the files. We are going to create the folders and files sometimes. So we should have local administrator privileges. How to check whether I'm a local admin or not? Generally go to the server, just your server, not your laptop. Okay, Windows R, fine. lusrmgr.msc, type lusrmgr.msc. You can get this window. Go to groups. You can see administrators group, right? Just double click on the administrators group. There you can see currently I'm using one user which is administrator. That administrator is a part of administrators group, so I'm a local admin now. So if you are a part of this group, either your name will be there or your group name will be there. Don't think if you have 10 members or 20 members of DBAs, all 20 members names will be there here. No. For all 20 members, group login will be there. That group name will be there here. SQL DBA group will be there. Such SQL DBA group entry will be there here. Okay. So you don't find individual login names in this administrators group. You will find your group name in this administrators group. If your group is part of this administrators group, then if you are a member of your SQL DBA group, then you are a local admin.
Okay, so by default it will be there, or
No.
we
Windows
need to
team has to
that?
add. No, we don't add. See, you cannot make yourself as a king, right? Right?
Okay, so
You cannot nominate yourself as a team leader. Someone has to nominate you. right? You cannot nominate yourself as a manager. In the same way, you cannot make yourself as an administrator. Otherwise, everyone can make themselves as administrator and they will delete whatever they want. Okay, someone has to give. So who is that person? Windows team will add us into the local administrators group.
Okay. Okay.
That's their
So
responsibility. Once the
we need
uh,
them to provide permission to us, right?
sorry,
No, I mean, if we, so we need to ask
yes.
Windows.
Generally, by default, as this is a regular activity, if any new server is built by Windows team, they will add us into the local admin group.
Okay, it's a default.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Any questions?
What exactly basic SQL Server installation? Basic.
There is no
What?
basic SQL Server installation. Okay, so nothing like that. So basic SQL Server installation means installing all the components, or Express Edition you can treat it as a basic SQL Server installation. So what do you mean by basic SQL Server first of all?
No, I thought if we have in the features we have multiple like database engines we have selected before.
Yes.
I thought if we have only database
No,
service,
no, no,
I thought
no,
my mistake.
no,
Okay, I thought
no,
like that.
no.
So
It's not basic installation. Basic installation means it might be Express Edition with basic features you will get. Okay.
okay.
There is no word called, first of all, there is no word called basic installation. Okay. So if you feel that there is a basic installation means it might be an Express Edition. You will get Express Edition with very basic features and all. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions, guys? Chalo, let's go to demo, guys. Let's create a database now. Okay, so we'll create the database now. In the evening session we'll discuss about the system databases. Okay, fine. So now I want to create a table, guys. First of all, okay, just try to understand the hierarchy. Okay, this is the hierarchy generally, or else let me go to this drive. Okay, flowchart. Right, use a root folder. Just a minute, just 1 minute. Just 1 minute, guys. Right, okay. So now let's understand the hierarchy, guys. How the hierarchy will be generally. For example, I want to create a table, right? So let's understand the hierarchy. There are two hierarchies. One is logical hierarchy, second one is physical hierarchy. Okay. Logical hierarchy. Second one is physical hierarchy. What is this logical hierarchy? So when you want to create a table, how the table will be stored logically, how the table will be stored physically. Okay, how the table will be stored logically, how the table will be stored physically, right? So generally, if you want to create a table, first of all you should have SQL Server. Under SQL Server you should have databases, Under database or databases, you should have schemas. Okay, under schemas your table will be stored. Schema is nothing but a container. You can call it as a container, guys. Container. This is called your logical architecture of the table. Okay, SQL Server, you should have, first I want to create a table, right? Tables will be created in the schemas only. Where we can create the schemas in the database, where this database will be existed in the SQL Server, right? So in the SQL Server, databases will be there, in the databases schemas will be there, in the schemas tables you can create. This is the logical way of creating the table, storing the table, sorry. What is physical hierarchy, guys? So again, in the SQL Server, databases will be there. In the databases, you will have data files. Okay, how the table will be stored physically, so in the SQL Server we'll have databases. In the database is nothing but collection of data files and log files. Collection of data files and log files, you can call it as a database. Okay, collection of data files and log files is called a database, guys. Okay, so inside the database, data files will be there. Inside the data files, you will have extents. Okay, inside the extents you will have pages, guys. Okay, inside the extents you will have pages. Let me add one more thing here, file groups. Inside the file, inside the databases you will have file groups. Inside the file groups you will have data files. Inside the data files you will have extents. Inside the extents you will have pages. So your table will be stored on a page, guys. Basic storage unit of a SQL Server. So whenever you are creating a table, for example, I am creating a student table. Whenever you are creating a table, okay, physically this table will be stored on page. This table will be created on page, guys. Page is a basic storage unit of a SQL Server. If you create any tables, the tables will be stored or created on pages. The page size is 8 KB. What is the size of the page? 8 KB. Okay, the size of the page is fixed in every version. Okay, on one page you can create only one table. On a single page you can create only one table. If this page is full, still you have a big table, still you are inserting records inside the table, then SQL Server will allocate one more page of 8 KB. If that is also full, SQL Server will allocate one more page. Like that, SQL Server will keep allocating the pages to the table if your table is big. Is it clear, guys? SQL Server will keep adding each page every time if you are keep on inserting the records. A page is a basic storage unit. Imagine you are creating very small table, so the table will be created inside the page, right? So imagine out of 8 KB, the table occupies only 2 KB. Remaining how much free space is there? Out of 8 KB, table occupied only 2 KB. How much free space is there in that space? 6 KB, right? Very simple equation. So as there is a free space in my page, so that I'll create one more table in the same page, SQL Server won't allow you. Minimum one page it will allocate for tables, guys. Minimum one page. Even though there is a free space in that page, SQL Server won't allow you to create one more table in the same page. Is it clear, guys?
Yeah.
SQL Server won't allow you to create one more table in the same page. One table is equal to one page. If your table is big, it will allocate one more page. Means you can create one table on multiple pages, but you cannot create multiple tables on one page. Why? Because one page is equal to one table even though there is a free space. Is it clear, guys? Everyone?
Clear.
Okay, so collection of pages is equal to extent. So can you tell me, collection of 8 continuous data pages, collection of 8 continuous data pages is called one extent. So can you tell me what is the extent size, guys?
64 KB.
I told you extent is nothing but collection of 8 pages, right? Each page size is 8 KB. So extent means collection of 8 pages. So 8 into 8, how much, guys? Extent size is 64 KB. Extent, the definition of extent is it's a basic allocation unit. SQL Server will allocate an extent for you. While creating a table, SQL Server will allocate an extent for you. There are two types of extents. One is, can you tell me the extents types?
Mixed uniform.
Sorry.
Sir, mixed and uniform.
So there are two types of extents. One is uniform extent, second one is mixed extent. Uniform extent and mixed extent. Guys, very simple. It's not very difficult thing and all. Very simple thing. So extent is a basic allocation unit, whereas page is a basic storage unit. So whenever you're trying to create a student table, SQL Server will try to allocate one extent for you. Allocation. It will allocate one extent for you. It depends upon the SQL Server whether it is an uniform extent or mixed extent. Mixed extent means generally in the extent 8 pages will be there, right? In the extent, let me show you one diagram so that we'll get a clarity. Extents in SQL Server. Okay, if you go to this, images, there you can see this is the correct image, guys. Okay, let me open this. So if you see here, this is a Microsoft one, and go down. Yes, this is the one. So if you see here, mixed extent and uniform extent. So uniform extent means you can see table 1, 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 table 1. How many pages these are? 8 pages. I told you, right? Extent is nothing but a collection of 8 pages. See, uniform extent means on all the 8 pages, same table will be stored, guys. That is called uniform extent. On all the 8 pages, same table will be stored. Imagine I have an employee table of 1 lakh records. Okay, I want to store employee table. So whenever I'm trying to create a table, SQL Server first, it don't know, right? While creating an establishment, while creating an organization, or while setting up the company, I don't know I'll have 1 lakh employees in my company. I cannot predict the future, right? So what I'm going to do, I'll simply create a table. So while creating, I might have 10 employees or 20 employees. I'll create a table with a small set of employees. Then I'm going to keep on adding the records. When employees are joining in my company, I'll keep adding the records and all. So while adding, SQL Server will allocate extents for you. What kind of extents? It depends upon your requirements. If you are creating the table for the first time, first it will allocate a mixed extent. Mixed extent means what? All the 8 pages you can store multiple objects. In each page you can store multiple objects. Mixed objects you can store. Means one page is equal to one table, another page is equal to another table. Like this is employee table, this is student table, this is one more table, this is sales table. Like that it will create. You can create multiple tables on each page. I mean, not each page, in each extent, guys. Don't confuse here. Very simple thing. Okay. So why first SQL Server will allocate uniform extent? Why? Because you don't know the table size. So if allocates uniform extent for you, definitely you should use all the 8 pages. Imagine your table is very small and it can fit in one table, one page, then it is going to waste remaining 7 pages, right? So the storage is going to be wasted, right? But SQL Server is very intelligent. Okay, so it cannot allow you to waste the storage and all. First time while creating the table, it will give you one page from the mixed extent. Then if your table is increasing, from then onwards it will start allocating you from mixed extents onwards. Mixed extents, it will start allocating mixed extents, guys. Okay, first time the SQL Server will allocate a page from the mixed extent while creating the table. Next time onwards it will start allocating mixed extents. I'm sorry, uniform extents. If your table is growing, it will start allocating uniform extents. But only for the first time it will allocate a page from the mixed extent. Why? Because mixed extent is nothing but you can create multiple tables in that extent. Each page you can allocate for one table. you can create multiple tables in one mixed extent. But whereas in the uniform extent means all the 8 pages belongs to one table only. You can see table 1, table 1, table 1. On all the 8 pages, table 1 is storing. But here on all the 8 pages, different tables are storing. So not to waste the storage, SQL Server will allocate a page from the mixed extent for the first time. Subsequent allocations will be uniform extents if your table is growing, guys. Any questions here, please? Okay, so let me go to this. So I told you, right, this is my SQL Server. Inside SQL Server, okay, what you will have, you will have databases. This is the Windows server, or else let me keep it as a SQL Server. Inside SQL servers you will have databases. Okay, let me go to this database. Or let me take this one. Okay, imagine this is one database. Inside SQL Server, this is one database, guys. Okay, inside this database I'll have file groups. Okay, I'll have file groups. Imagine this is my file group. Okay, inside this file group I'll have what I'll have, guys? Data files. Okay, this is a physical structure. So this is my data file. Let me extend this so that you will get clarity. These are my file groups. Inside file groups I have data files. Okay, inside data files your table will be stored. Okay, inside data files your table will be stored, guys. Right, so this is how the structure will be. So let me show you SQL Server. Control B. This is my SQL Server. This is my database. And inside database I'll have file groups. Inside file groups I'll have what I'll have, guys? Data files. Inside this data file again we will have extents, then pages. On top of the page your tables will be stored. Okay, so this is how it will be. Data files. Inside the data files, imagine there is an extent. Okay, that's okay. Inside this data files you will have extents, guys. Inside the extents you will have pages. On top of the page, each page your table will be stored. This is the physical hierarchy of the SQL Server. Any questions, any doubts, please? Any doubts?
No.
Okay, fine. So if not, what we can do, let's create a database, guys, now. Okay, let's create a database. So now you know, at least you have a basic idea what is a database and all. Database is nothing but collection of data files and log files. Okay, how to create a database? Right click on the database. Okay, how to create a database, guys? Just a minute. How to create a database? Just a minute, guys, don't mind. Who is the Samsung SM515F? Can you please unmute? Samsung, please identify yourself so that I'll have an idea who you are. Okay, Samsung SM, can you please unmute once? Samsung SM, can you hear me? Let me send a message to you. Okay, then please respond. I'll wait for 10-15 minutes. Okay, done. Right, fine, guys. So let me go to the server again. What I can do, right? I want to create a database. I told you database is nothing but collection of data files and log files. While creating the database, first you will get one data file and one log file, guys, by default. I told you database is a collection of data files and log files, right? While creating the database, first time you will get one data file and one log file. Later, if you want to increase the files, you can increase the files. I will show you. Okay, right click, new database. Okay, so here I have to give the database name, right? Here I have to give the database name. So you can give any name, guys. Generally in the organization, application team will let us know. Okay, see, it's not like it's not our decision, guys. Okay, sir, how you can came to know what will be the database name, what databases and all we have to create like that. So it's not in our hands. Application team will let us know, hey DB team, I want a database with this name, can you please create? Okay, can you please create the database and all, like that they will raise a request. Okay, so then we can create the database. So they will give the name, what name they want, they will give the name, they will include the name in the ticket, guys. Based on that you can give the name. As of now I'm just simply creating a database with Amazon database. This is okay, you can give any name, no issues. Owner, generally for every object owner will be there. Okay, for every object owner will be there, fine. So who will be the owner? If I don't give any owner, who is creating the database? Who is creating the database? Generally, he will become the owner of the database. Who is creating the database, guys? Now, who is creating? Who is
Administrator user.
administrator, right? This one, this guy. Okay,
Administrator.
he is creating the database. You just connected to his connection, and then you are creating the objects. So, who is creating the database? Administrator. So, if I don't set any owner, okay, the database owner will be administrator, guys. You can see default, but once you created the database, I'll show you the database owner. But generally, imagine if Sairam connected to this server and he created the database. So the database owner will be Sairam. Now Sairam got an opportunity in another company. Sairam left the organization. So Sairam account will be deleted from the security, right? Why? Because once you left the organization, all your accounts will be deleted, right? But still the database owner name is Sairam only. As the Sairam account is deleted, the database, okay, might not work properly. So that's why we don't keep database owners as default. Default means who is creating, he will get that name, their name. So we'll keep this as a SCA. See here, SCA is a permanent login. SCA is a permanent login, so that no one can delete the SCA login. You should make sure not only for databases, wherever it is asking owner, for databases it will ask the owner, for jobs also it will ask the owner. So while creating the job, if Sairam is creating any job, okay, then what happened? So the job owner will be Sairam. If Sairam account is deleted from the server, the jobs won't run properly, it will be failed. So for database names, for job names and all, generally if anywhere it is asking for owner, give SCA is the owner of the particular object. SCA is the permanent login. That's why I have to give owner. And if you expand this window, you can see lot of things. Okay, I gave Amazon, right? Automatically Amazon data file is showing and Amazon log file is also showing. Sir, how can you know that this is data file, this is log file? Log file you can identify underscore log will be there. For data file, just go to file types, you can see rows data. Rows data means data file, log means log file. I told you, right? So files cannot create individually. By alone files cannot be created. File groups should be there. So primary is the default file group that you will get it while creating the database. For every database you will get one default file group that is called primary file group. Okay, so you will get this primary file group will be created during database creation, guys. So I want to create, I don't want this file group, primary file group, I want to create a different file group. Yes, you can create, go to file group space, there you can see primary file group. I want to add one file group, click on add file group, so that you can create one more file group. So I'll show you later. Okay, after creating the database also we can create extra file groups and all. As of now I'm creating the database with the default values. Okay, so primary is the file group. See log file, you can see not applicable. Why I can see not applicable for log file? Why only data file? Why not log file? Why not log file? See why? Because log file doesn't have file group structure. Okay, log file doesn't have file group structure. Log file structure is completely different. I'll tell you later what log file will do. Okay, log file is very important file. So I'll tell you later what it will do. Generally, log file doesn't have any file groups. It don't need any file groups to survive. For data files need a file group to survive, guys. Without file group, data files cannot be created. Right, initial size of the data file is 8 MB, log file is 8 MB. So initial size no need to increase, you can keep it as it is. When you start inserting the data, when you start inserting the records, okay, it will grow automatically, the file size will grow automatically. For that, this option will be helpful, guys. Auto growth or max size, this option will be helpful for the auto growth of the files. And if you see here, okay, if 8 MB is full, then it has to grow by 64 MB next time. If you click on this option, you can see this. You want to enable auto growth, you can enable. If you want to disable, you can disable now. If you want to enable, you can enable. If you disable, what happened, guys? What happened? Auto growth is none. None means it will grow up to 8 MB. After that, it won't grow. Why? Because there is no auto growth option enabled. So it will grow up to 8 MB. Once this 8 MB is full, then your data file will full, so that your database will full, so that you cannot insert any data, right? Like this is kind of a pen drive with 8 MB. Imagine you have a pen drive with 8 MB. How much data you can store in the pen drive for 8 MB? Only 8 MB data you can store, hardly 1 photo, 2 photos. Once that 8 MB is full, can you store anything in that pen drive? While copying, what error it will throw? Pen drive is full, storage is full, right? So if auto growth is not enabled, that is the main challenge. Okay, but every time we cannot enable, right? We are going to handle hundreds of servers, thousands of servers, thousands of databases. Which data file you will increase every time? It's not our responsibility, right? Every time checking each data file growth, and so for that auto growth is very helpful. So make sure enable auto growth is selected. And how you are going to auto grow the files, whether in terms of percentages or megabytes, you can choose. In percentage, if you choose, I gave 100%. Can you tell me what is the file size? If 8 MB is full, what is the new file size? If 8 MB is full, as per auto growth option, what is the new file size of this file?
16 MB total.
16 MB. Why? Because I gave auto growth, I gave in percentage. How much percentage? 100%. 100% of 8 means how much, guys?
8.
8, right? 10%. Just wait, okay? 1 minute. Who is calling? Okay. So 10% of 8, how much, guys? I need answers, guys, from everyone in the chat. No. Okay. So guys, be ready. I know you are very good in mathematics. Okay. So I need 20% of 8 MB in the chart. Don't tell the answer. What is the 20% of 8 MB? What is the 20% of 8 MB, guys?
1.6 MB.
Array, don't tell the answer, sir.
Oh, sorry.
What is the 30% of 8 MB? Don't use calculators. You have to use your minds. 30% of 8 MB. Don't use calculators and all. Use only your minds. You can calculate very easily. I hope you know. This is not a maths class, but you know how to calculate. Only 4 answers I got till now. Okay. Only 4 answers. 6 answers. Okay. 2.4 MB, 2.4 MB. Okay, that's fine. Okay. So very easy, guys. It's not difficult thing. 8 MB means 8 MB, right? 8 MB divided by 10 is equal to 0.10. 10% means 0.8 MB. You have to just put one dot here. Okay. For 10%. For 8 MB. For 20%, 10 plus 10, 0.8 plus 0.8, 0.16. For 30%, 0.8 plus 8 plus 8.
1.6.
Sorry, yes, 1.6. 8 3s are 24, 2.4 MB. So like this, you should be in a position to calculate with your mind. Okay, don't use calculators. It's very easy, basic calculations and all, but we don't calculate anything, just to show you. In percentage, 100 means automatically if 8 MB is full, 100% means the new file size will be 8 plus 8. Okay, 16 MB. If I gave in megabytes 100, now tell me what is the new file size?
108.
108 MB in megabytes. I'm not giving in percentage. Means if 8 MB is full, you have to add 100 MB. If 8 MB is full, you have to add 1000 MB. How much you want to add, you can simply give here. It won't calculate percentages now. If 8 MB is full, if the initial file size is full, you want to add 10,000 MB so that you can give. So the new file size will be 10,008 MB. So generally in the organization, in percentage will be there. Sometimes in megabytes also will be there. They will give 20% or 30% every time. If 8 MB is full, 20% will be added. What is the 20% of 8 MB? 1.6 MB. Now next, the new file size is 9.6 MB. If 9.6 is also full, 20 more percentage will be added. 9.6 MB plus 20% of 9.6 MB. 9.6 plus 9.6, how much? Something like 21 MB. So it will be, so
13.2.
yeah, so it will keep adding like that. If the file is full, it will keep adding in terms of percentages, guys. Of course it is going to be keep adding, but how, where you are going to get that particular storage and all, from where you are going to get the storage? See here,
Right.
in which drive this file is stored, from the drive it will keep adding the storage. In which drive this file is stored, guys? C drive,
C
right?
drive.
Right, from C drive it will keep adding the storage. But in the C drive, how much free space is there? 8 GB, correct? So this file can grow up to 8 GB, guys. Okay, if you gave simply here maximum file size is unlimited, it will keep growing. Okay, when unlimited means when, till there is a free space in the C drive. Till there is a free space means, C drive means you are storing the files in the C drive, so it will be C drive. If you are storing the files in the D drive, it will be D drive. How much free space is there? 8 GB. Up to 8 GB it can grow. 8.32 GB it can grow. That is called the meaning of unlimited. Or you want to limit this file size. Okay, I want to limit after 10,000 MB it cannot grow. You want to limit, you can just keep one value. It will be locked till 10,000 MB. So it will auto grow for till 10,000 MB. After that it won't grow. Generally we don't limit any file sizes. We'll keep it as unlimited. It has to use the free space. If the free space is full, what we have to do, guys? If this 8 GB is full, completely full, what we have to do next? We have to delete the data file.
No.
Next, what we have to do then?
Hide another drive.
Yes. Why? Because if that particular drive is full, but still you are getting the data, where you are going to insert? If there is no free space, it will throw the errors. The data file is full, or database is full. In that case, you will request Windows team to extend the drive. So Windows team will extend the drive for 25 GB or 100 GB or 1000 GB or 1 TB or 2 TB. Like that, they will keep extending the drives. In that way, the files will grow, guys. Is it clear? The file structure, everyone?
Yes.
Everyone, guys, if you have any questions, you can ask me. Don't hesitate to ask the questions. Don't hesitate to ask the questions. It's very important. Any questions, let me know. No questions? Are we good, guys?
Yes. No questions, sir.
Only one person is responding every time. What about others?
No questions.
Continue, sir.
Okay. So, okay, fine. Okay. Right. So this is how the file management will be done in the organization, guys. Okay. So now I'm going to use these options. Click OK. No issues. 20% unlimited. It will grow. And I want to change this path. See, if you just keep it as it is, your data file will be stored in this path. If you want to change, no, I don't want C drive. I want to store my data files in the D drive. Yes, you can do it. Okay. Just click on that browse button. I want to go to D drive, select D drive, and in the D drive or E drive, whatever folder you want to give, just give the folder, or it depends upon the path. In the organization, you can see the servers, the old servers, what path they are following, what standards they are following. You can go through it and you can give the path accordingly. Generally, we don't store anything in the C drive in the organization. C drive is completely for OS related information. Okay, we don't store any SQL data related information in the C drive, guys. But in our practice, we don't have any other drives, so that's why we are using C drive. Don't think D drive is there, sir. Why don't you use D drive? D drive is not a fixed drive. This is like mapped drive. Okay, softwares and all. To attach the softwares, we are going to use this D drive. Fine. 1 minute, guys, please. Hello. Right. Okay. Fine, guys. So you can.
Hi, sorry,
Yes.
one
Yes.
question.
Please. Yes, please.
Yeah, here we are having two files. One is data file and one is log file.
Yes.
So data file, it is like our day-to-day operations.
No, no,
And
no.
what?
No, it's not like day-to-day operations and all month operations. Not like that. I'll tell you. Okay, once I'll create the table, right? I'll show you what data file will do, what log file will do. Okay. Yes. Any other questions?
Yes, sir. Can
Yes.
we store the data file and log file in the same drive?
Yeah, you can store it. Here you can see, right? I have only C drive.
Yes,
Okay, I
yes.
can still use C drive to store data file. It's not a problem that where you are storing. You can store in the same drive, or some people will get it out, sir. Why don't I store these two files in two different drives? Yes, you can store the files anywhere. You can store it in the same drive. You can store the same two files in another two drives. Data files you can use one drive, log files you can use one drive. It's not like those two files should be in same location or same drive. Generally the organization will follow different strategies. Some people will dump everything in a single drive. Some people will create separate drives. For data file one drive, for log files one drive, for tempdb one drive, for backup files one drive. Like that they will create separate drives and they will store it accordingly. So yes, you can store in a same drive, or yes, you can store in a different drives also.
Hello.
Yes, please.
A company they will mention the path, na?
Generally, if you're working in the organization, if you are new, you can refer other servers, other databases and all, how they are storing. If you have any doubts, you can ask your colleague for the first time. You can ask which drive will be used for what purpose. Data files in which drive will store, log files in which drive will store, tempdb in which drive will store, backups in which drive will store. You can ask them. But using the drive notations, you can see. Okay, for data file you can see data drive, log files log drive, backup files backup drive. Like that you can see the drive names itself, so you can easily identify which is backup drive, which is data drive, which is log drive and all.
Okay.
So will there be any difference if we add in the same or sorry?
No difference at all. No difference at all. Okay. You can keep it in the same drive, you can keep it in the different drive. Functionality wise, anything anywhere, it will function, it will behave like in the same way if you keep it in the same drive or different drives also.
Okay.
Yeah. So now if you see here, any other questions, guys? Any other questions? Right. And just let me copy this path, Control A, Control C. So let me open this path, Windows R, Control V. Okay, I am going to open the path. So here you don't see any Amazon data file and log file, right? So you can see some data files and log files. What are those data files and log files? These are my system database data files and log files. Master database data file, master log file, model data file, model log file, MSDB data file, MSDB log file, tempdb data file, tempdb log file. I told you, right, by default you will get data files and log files for each database. So by default you will get system databases. When you install SQL Server, you will get system databases, right? So those system databases, data files and log files you can see here. Once if I click OK here in the new database window, if I click OK, now in this location I can see Amazon data file and Amazon log file. That is called physical files. These files you can see with your naked eyes, right? This is called physical files. This is called physical files. The same information will be stored in the master data, means Amazon data file, where is the path? Amazon log file, where is the path? The information will be stored in somewhere, that is called logical path. Okay, that is the difference between physical and logical. This is called your physical files that you can see. Logical generally you can see in tables only, you cannot see physically like this. Okay guys, Right, fine. So file names, when I click OK, file names will be created. Amazon.mdf, Amazon_log.ldf. There is an extension, guys, for data files. Generally, two types of data files are there. Two types of data files. Okay, one is your MDF files, which is master data files, or sometimes people will call it as a main data file. Okay, second one is NDF, next or new data file, next or new data file. Okay, next are new data files. This is your data files. We have one log file, right? Log file extension is .ldf, data file extension is .mdf, next data file extension is .ndf. Okay, as of now, when you create a database, you will get one file, this one data file MDF, one log file LDF. If you want extra data files, you can add one more file that is called NDF. From where I can add it, you can click on the below button, add. You can keep on adding the data files, depends upon your requirements. If you want extra data files, you can extra data files. And see, I can create one data file in one drive, another data file in another drive also. It's not like all the data files in the same drive. Okay, files can be in any location, but the path should be correct. That's it, nothing is there. Okay guys, so now once I click OK, I'll get a files like this in the physical location. This is the data file MDF file, guys. Okay, if you see here, let me go to the properties. You can see the extension of this file. Okay, the file extension is .mdf. Okay, and if you see here log file extension would be .ldf. Okay, so like this, once if I click OK, I'll get one data file and one log file for Amazon, guys, in this location. Right? Chalo, any questions, any doubts?
Sir, can I add another log file in database?
Yes, good question. Sir, every time you are saying data files, why can't I add log files? Yes, you can add multiple log files also, no issues. But generally in the organization will follow, okay, this method, this practice. What is that practice? Multiple data files, only one log file. Multiple log files you don't see for any database, but you can still add it, no issues. How to add a file? Click on add button. You want to add data file, Amazon_file2. Any name you can give. You want to add data file, you can select data. You want to add log file, you can select log. In this way you can add the file. You want to remove the file, select it, remove it. You can remove the file.
Okay,
But you cannot
thank
remove
you.
default file. See here, I want to remove. See, there is no remove option. Okay, you cannot remove the default files. You cannot create any database without this data file and log file. How many files I can add it to the database? Can anyone answer? How many files? Now I just added one file, right, to this database. Like this, how many files I can add?
I think 2600 something, sir.
Yes, okay. So guys, listen carefully. Generally in the SQL Server, there is a magic number. What is that magic number? 32,767. So 32,767 means you can create 32,767 databases in the SQL Server. You can add 32,767 data files. You can add 32,767 log files. You can add 32,767 file groups. You can create 32,767 logins. You can create 32,767 users. Okay, so like that 32,767 is a famous number in the SQL Server. Okay, it's kind of a 2 power 64, I guess, right? 32,000, how you can get the 32,000? 2 power 64 bit. Okay, so in the, if you just calculate this 2 power 64, you might get this 32,767, guys. So if anyone asks how many databases I can create in a SQL Server, guys, what is the answer? 32,767. In the same way, you can create 32,767 data files, log files, and also. Okay, it will allow you to add that many files, guys. Right. So you can go to options. There are some separate settings and all. Okay, in the database, what kind of settings you want, you can change the settings from this option space, recovery models, and I'm going to explain about the recovery models during the restore classes. These are all different settings on the database. Don't change anything, keep it as it is, no issues. Okay, you can keep it as it is, guys. You can keep it as it is. Okay, I'll explain some of the options, I'll explain later. Okay, file groups I told you, right? So these are the file groups. Now let me go to the general page and let me click OK. Right, before clicking OK, what I'm going to do, I'm going to script out this activity. Okay, let me script out this activity. You can generate a script by using this script button, guys. Click on the script button, it will generate a script. When it will where it will generate a script, it will generate a script in the new query window. See here how much big script is there to create a database. See how many lines. Okay, how many lines? Almost 84 lines are there. 84 lines script is there to create a database. But can you remember this much big script to create a database? Is it possible, guys?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, on Linux platform, we can also operate SQL Server.
Yes, we can operate.
There is not GUI option.
No GUI option.
Sir, I have to create database like this by script, writing script.
Correct. You can see, you can there is an option called SQL CMD, SQL command. Okay, you have to give the command to create the database.
Okay, sir.
Right, so this is how it will work, guys. See here, whatever names we gave, create database name, this is the data file location and this is the log file location. These are the settings I shown you, right, in the options space. These are the settings, on off, on off, on off. Okay, and you can see, okay, some logins also. Okay, this is how this is, I guess, if not exist, is file groups. Okay, file groups. Okay, so every activity you can generate a script, guys. SQL Server don't know what is the how to create a database. Okay, but you don't know what is the query to create a database. This window will help you to create a query. If you click OK, don't think it will immediately create the database. No, if you click OK, it will what it will do, it is going to generate a query like this, and that query will run in the back end. So that's why it is going to create a database. For every action, queries should be there to run in the background. Without query, you cannot do anything. But you don't know what is the query. So this window will help you to prepare the query. That's it, guys. This GUI window will help you to prepare the query. At the end of the day, once you give all the details, it will prepare the query and it will give it to SQL Server like this, and SQL Server will execute, guys. Okay, if I click OK now, okay, the query will be executed. Whatever query is there, that query will be executed, guys. Done. The whole query is executed now. But no need to script out this. Just to show you, I just script out this object. Generally, you can simply right click. See, we just discussed since half an hour, right? Creating database, new database. This time I'll create Paytm database. That's it. Done. You can hit enter. Paytm is created. But you should know, right, what option will do what kind of things and all. You can also create a database in another way using query method. New query. What is the query to create a database? Create database sales database name. That's it. See here, this is the big query, right? But if you give like this, can I create the database? Can I create the database using these 3 words? Just 3 words. Using these 3 words, can I create the database? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
if you click execute, don't think only these 3 words will be executed. SQL Server will add some default parameters and then it will create the database. Okay, to this query it will add all the default, these are all default parameters, it will add the default parameters, and with this query it will add those parameters and it will create the database. See here, click execute. Done, database is created. Okay, I cannot see database sales database here. How to see that one?
Refresh.
Just select the database and refresh it. You can see the sales database. Okay, so this is how we are going to create a database. Very easy to create the database. Right click, new database name, hit enter. That's it. No need to know all these queries and all. Okay, but even though you are not comfortable with the queries, you can use GUI. If you are comfortable with the database query, you can run query also. The query is like this only. Create database name. Can I create the same database again?
No, sir.
No.
No, sir.
It will simply throw you error, database sales already exists. Choose a different database name. Okay, so like this you can create the database, guys. Any questions, any doubts, please?
Yes, sir. I have a question.
Yes, please.
Sir, if we are creating a database, so we will get the by default MDF and LDF file for a particular or a single database. Okay. So why we need to add some extra log file?
No, we don't. That's what I'm saying. We don't add extra log files. See, we can manage, see, we can still add, there is a provision to add extra log files, depends upon the requirements. Generally, we can manage. First of all, let me tell you what log file will do. Okay, then you will get a clarity. See, data file will store the data permanently, whereas log file will store the data temporarily. You are creating one table. Create student, create table student. Okay, simply you are creating one table. So when you create any table and when you are inserting the records, first of all that query will goes to that particular log file. The whole transaction, any transaction, first it will goes to the log file. Okay, so in the log file the transaction will be, it will run in the log file. So for example, you are creating a table, create table, table name something like sales table, create table, table name sales table. Okay, you are going to give some columns, right? Student, sales id, integer. I'll explain again while creating the table. I'm just simply creating one table. A product name where care of 100 and cost money. Okay, so like this you are creating a table and you are inserting some records. Insert into table name sales and values. Again, nothing to worry, I'll tell you again. Okay, some product name is like AC. Okay, and the cost is 30,000. Okay, so like this you are creating, you are inserting some records. This is called one transaction, guys. This is called one transaction. Okay, this is called one transaction, this is called one transaction. So like this, the second record is fridge. Okay, so this is around 20,000. Something like third record, some TV. Okay, this is around 35,000. Right, so when you run these queries, first these queries will go to the log file. Okay, then when you're trying to run the queries, see, this is the transaction, right? Always, every time, all the transactions, first it will stored in the log file temporarily. When it will move to the data file, okay, once the transaction is committed, then the transaction, the data will be moved to the data file. See, there should be a difference between a transaction and data. This is called transaction, this is called data. Okay, so you are using one notepad. I want to save this notepad. What I am going to do, guys? If I want to save this notepad, how to save this?
File and then
File save, or control S you can use save. If I don't save it, if I just close it, if I don't save it, what it will happen?
data will be lost. That
I lost the data, right? And suddenly my laptop is restarted. What will happen? I'm going to lose this data, right?
yes.
If I saved it, what will happen? Even though the system is rebooted or it was closed, what will happen? The data will be saved permanently. What is the meaning of permanently saved? Means what? It will be
We can
Saved in data file.
correct. It will saved in the drive, right? The
Yeah.
data will be saved in the drive. This file will be saved in the drive. If you store the data in the drive, even though the system is corrupted or something happened or the power is gone or suddenly it was restarted, still you can get it. Why? Because this file is stored in the drive permanently. So the drive is a permanent storage area. Okay, so drive is a permanent storage area. In the same way, data files also permanent storage area. So when the data will be moved to the data file from log file, when you commit the transaction, okay, the data will be moved, okay, from log file to data file. Log file is a kind of main door to our home. If anyone is coming, they have to come from that main door, right? Agree? So any transaction, first it will goes to log file, guys. It will be there temporarily. It will store temporarily in the log file until it is going to be committed. Once the transaction is committed, okay, then the data will be moved to the disk. Once the data is moved to the disk, it will be stored permanently, even though your SQL server is restarted, even though your Windows server is restarted, even though your system is down, shut down, still you can get the data as it was moved to the disk permanently. If the transaction is not committed, okay, there are two states for the transaction. One is committed transaction, second one is uncommitted transaction. Committed transaction means data will be moved to the data file permanently, so there is a safety for your data. Uncommitted transaction means there is no safety for your data. It will be stored temporarily in the log file until it is going to be committed. Is it clear what log file will do? Is it clear, guys?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
so you might run 1 lakh transactions, you might run 10 lakh transactions. All 10 lakh transactions cannot be written to the disk immediately, right? You just started inserting 10 lakh, 1 lakh, guys, just 1 lakh transactions. You just started inserting 1 lakh transactions. It's not like a snapshot. Just take the snapshot and just copy the snapshot to the disk. It's not like that. It will start reading, it start writing the transaction one by one, one by one, one by one. Imagine to write 1 lakh transactions, it might take 15 minutes. Agree?
Yes.
In this 15 minutes, in this meantime, someone restarted the SQL server. What will happen? What happened to your transactions? Your log file is an excellent file. Yes, not committed. Your log file is an excellent file, guys. The feature of log file is very beautiful. Okay, so here what happened, if anyone restarted during this transaction process, if someone restarted the SQL server or Windows server, okay, if they are committed, it will be moved to the data file. If the transactions are not committed, it will be there in the log file only. Temporarily it will be there in the log file until they are going to be committed. Once the server is back, someone restarted the server, right? Once the server is back, what it will do, you know, there is a mechanism called rollback, roll forward. Means redo and undo. Rollback, redo, okay, and undo. Right, so like this it is going to be worked, guys. Like this it will work. Okay, redo and undo. As per the redo and undo architecture means, if any transactions are cancelled, again it is going to redo the transaction, guys. Okay, if any transactions are already committed, it will depends upon the mechanism. It will either go for a redo or undo, guys. Okay, it will work like that. Fine, guys. So to satisfy this mechanism, we should have log file. Log file only will help you to redo and undo the transactions. Imagine if you are inserting 1 lakh records, okay, if this 1 lakh records are not committed during the process, during the transaction process, if someone restarted the SQL server, imagine 1 lakh transactions you are inserting, right? You just inserted 90,000 transactions, okay, 90,000 or 99,000 transactions, 99,000 transactions. These are all not committed. Imagine. So once the SQL server is back, if anyone restarted the SQL server, once the SQL server is back, what it will do? First, it will cancel all the 99,000 transactions. Then again, it will start redoing. First, it will undo, and again, it will start redoing the whole 1 lakh transactions. It's like an example of like you are sending an amount of 10,000 rupees to me. So what is the state, guys? The transaction state should be either it should be successful or it should be failed, right? It's not partially successful, right? 5,000 it will come to my account, 5,000 it will be there with your account. It won't work like that, right? Either successful means all the 10,000 rupees has to be credited in my account, or unsuccessful, 0 rupees will be credited to my account. Okay, so once the server is back, then it will undo all the 99,000 transactions, and again from the beginning it will redo the transactions from transaction 1 onwards till transaction 1 lakh. Okay, so we don't manage multiple log files. We don't manage multiple log files. We can still use the multiple log files, but we don't manage multiple log files. We can use only a single log file for this mechanism, but you can still use it multiple log files and all. Why we don't use multiple log files, I'll tell you later. As of now, is it clear log file architecture?
One
Yes.
question, Shanmugh.
Yeah.
So, for example, few transactions code failed, okay, and that data will be available in log files, right?
See, it's not like few transactions are failed. It will run like a batch. Okay. See here. Now I am inserting 3 records, right? Inside
Uh,
three records, again one transaction is failed. Not like that. If a transaction is failed, see why it will be failed, either a syntax error or something error, right? So in that case, what will happen? The transaction won't be executed itself. It's not like first of all, it don't go to the log file. Initially, SQL Server will stop it. If the transaction is correct transaction, if there are no errors in the particular transaction, then it will go to the log file. If there is a wrong, it won't go to the log file. It's not like all the correct transactions will go to the data file. Whatever transactions, wrong transactions are there, it will store in the log file. Not like that. Okay. If the transaction is wrong, failed means what? Either it should be failed with the syntax error, or it should be failed with some other errors. If the transaction is failed, it first of all, it won't go to the log file itself.
okay, okay. So, for example, few uncommitted transactions are in rollback state. Okay, so after rollback, so everything will in log will get cleared, or
Yes, very good question. Yeah, I want to continue. Okay, once the transactions are committed, means all these particular transactions, 3 transactions are committed, all this data is moved to the data file. Now these 3 transactions will be truncated from the log file. Log file is a reusable file, guys. Log file is reusable file. Until the data is going to be committed, temporarily it will be stored in the log file. Once the data is committed, means once the data is moved to the data file, what is the need of the transaction in the log file? It will be truncated from the log file. Got the point? So that's why log file growth will keep increasing, keep decreasing. Data file will not behave like that. Data file is going to be, it is going to store the data permanently. Okay, it will keep increasing unless and until if you delete some records, then the data file size will decrease. But here log file, during the transaction process, it will keep increasing, it will keep decreasing. Why? If the transactions are permanently written to the data file, then the transactions will be truncated from the log file. So log file will be truncated, it will shrink. Okay, if the transactions are not committed, then the log file will keep increasing. Okay, log file is a reusable file. Once the transaction is committed, it won't store in the log file. It will welcome another transactions, next set of transactions. Is it clear?
okay, okay, yeah, fine.
Okay, so that's why log file is a temporary storage area. It don't store the data permanently. Until the data is going to be committed, it will store it in that log file. Once it is committed, the transaction will be truncated, guys. Nothing to worry. As someone asked the question, that's why I just explained. Nothing to worry. If you don't understand, go through it again. It's very simple. Log file will store the data. Transactions, you cannot say data. Log file will store the transactions temporarily until it is going to be committed. Commit means what? Writing the data to the data file is called commit. Okay, transaction, each and every transaction will have 2 states. One is committed, second one is uncommitted. Okay, so committed and uncommitted, how to know whether this transaction is committed or uncommitted? Each and every transaction, generally it will begins with 2 commands, begin tran and commit. If you don't give commit, automatically transactions will be committed, guys. If you give begin tran, if you don't give commit, that is called uncommitted transaction. See here, for example, if you give like this, for this batch you gave like this begin tran, okay, and you give like this commit. At the end of the transaction will give like this. So now if I run this, these transactions will be committed, means stored permanently. If I don't give begin tran and commit, SQL Server will give begin tran and commit. Okay, this is also committed transaction only. Sir, I don't see commit, so these are committed transactions or uncommitted transactions. You don't see begin tran, you don't see commit, right? So these are committed transactions. But you gave only begin tran, you didn't give commit. That means you are intentionally you are saying, hey, just write the transactions to the log file. Don't commit it. Why? Because you're not giving commit until and unless it is going to get the commit, either 1 day or 2 days or 1 week or 1 month. These transactions will be there in the log file only. It won't move to the data file. If you give begin tran manually, you have to give commit. If you don't give commit, it is called uncommitted transactions. If you don't give begin tran and commit, SQL Server will give. If you give begin tran, Control Z, okay, you have to give commit also to commit the transaction. Until the transaction is committed, it will be wait in the log file. If the transaction is committed fully, then the transaction will be deleted from the log file. That's it, guys. Only for that purpose we'll use the log file.
Sir, as you told, one small thing here. Here we have rollback and roll forward.
Yes.
So, in case all the transactions are not, I mean, if suddenly, in the middle, if something goes wrong, the transactions whatever went to data file will come back to log file in case if it is not committed.
It's not like going back, it's not like that, okay? So if it is committed, then only it will move from log file to data file. If it is not committed, it will be there in the log file only. It's not like again it will go to, when it will go to the data file. If it is committed, then only it will go to the data file. Until then, it will be there in the log file only.
Okay, then this roll forward. This, I mean, I'm trying to understand these two things. This
See, roll forward means, see, whenever you reach during this process, you are inserting 1000 transactions. After 100 transactions, someone restarted the SQL server. Okay, so when you will get, generally when you will get commit at the end of the 1000 transaction, guys, right?
Yes.
When you can see the commit at the end of the 1000 transaction. So as it hasn't got the commit, what it will do, once the server is back, first it will undo all the transactions, all 100 transactions. Okay, roll back. Then it will redo again from the beginning, from transaction 1 onwards. Again from beginning, it will going to redo the transactions.
Okay. All these things are happening in the log file itself.
Yes, in the log file itself. It's a automatic mechanism. You don't, guys.
I got
We don't do anything from our side. This is an automatic mechanism. So if you don't understand, also no issues. Nothing to do from our side. But it's good to understand the things, internal things. We don't do anything after restart. Also, we don't do. Sir, do we need to do anything? No, nothing. It is an automatic mechanism. SQL Server will take care of it automatically. Okay.
Okay, sir. Yeah, thanks. I got it. Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions, guys?
One question, Shanmugh.
Yes, please.
Regarding the data file, so for example, we are moving this data source, like this database, to another server, another service. Okay.
Server service. What is that?
No, server.
Okay.
For another Windows server.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay. If we copy this data file and log file to that server, will this SQL server in that, you know?
Please mute it. If you don't have questions, please mute it, guys. Hi Krishna. Hi Krishna. Just a minute, guys.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes, Shanmugh, can you hear me?
Yes. I'm back. Okay. Fine. Yes, someone is asking the question.
Yeah. So, for example, I want to move this same database to another system. Okay. Okay, so when I copy this data file and log file to that particular server, it's another server.
Okay.
Okay, that is having one SQL server. Okay, so when I'm trying to copy these two files to that server, will it recognize or do we need any extra configuration?
We need extra setup. Okay. So if you are moving, see, there are multiple ways how you are moving and all. You can use backup restore method. You can use detach attach method. You can use import export method. There are multiple ways to do that. If you are using backup restore, of course you know how to. I mean, like I'll show you how to database, how to take the backup, how to restore the database. I'll show you. Generally, if you move the database from one server to another server, you have to take care of the permissions. Why? Because in this server there are different permissions. In that server, the permissions might be there, might not be there in the particular new server that you are moving. So you have to take care of the permissions. That is the extra step you have to take care.
Okay, so directly copying is not working in that server, right?
No, no, no. You cannot directly physically copy the things and all. It won't work. You can do that, but what you have to do, that is called detach attach method. You have to attach it. You have to copy the files physically, and then you have to attach the database.
Okay, yeah, got it. Thanks.
Yes, yes, yes. Any other questions?
No?
Yes, please.
Any particular command can we know that where the backup files are stored?
Yeah, we have multiple commands. Nothing to worry. During backup classes, I'll tell you.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, please. Any other questions? Any questions? Any doubts?
Hello.
Yes,
I
please.
have one doubt. Is there actually? I will create a database by using graphical user interface.
Okay.
So after that only can I access the script, na? Script. So before that script is not possible.
If you can remember the whole script is possible.
Directly I can use. Okay. So generally after GUI only we can get the script.
See,
Before
see, generally to show you what will run in the backend when you click OK, that's why I just generated a script. If you
Okay.
can remember the whole script, you can still run the script, right? You can still run the script, not an issue. Or for creating a database, you can just run this first line. Remaining all the things will give, SQL Server will give automatically. These are all parameters. Okay, these default parameters will be provided by the SQL Server.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions? Any questions, guys? Any doubts? No questions? Okay, chalo. So we don't have time to create the table. Okay, it will take some time. So now you can see, right, database. These are the databases. Okay, so this is my Amazon database, this is my Paytm database, this is my sales database. So in which database you want to create a table? Okay, simply right click on the database, again open a new query window, or if you want to create a table, okay, for example here you want to, this is a session query window. Here you want to create a table in the Amazon database. Go to here. You can change the context of the database Amazon. Now you want to create a table, right? So you can simply create a table like this. Create table, table name. And while creating tables, you are going to provide the columns and all. Okay. So what columns you want, you can provide the columns. Each column will have a data type. Okay. So you have to define what kind of data it is going to accept. Student ID or sales ID. Imagine I am creating a sales table. Simple script is create table, table name. What kind of columns? See, table means generally if you are drawing a table on a white paper, what columns will include? Right? You have to include 2-3 columns, right? If I asked you, hey, can you please draw a student table on the white paper, what you will do? You will simply draw the table and you will create 2-3 columns like student ID, student name, student phone number. Like that you will include multiple columns, right? So in the same way, we have to give the column names, what columns you want while creating the table. See, we don't create tables in the organization. Generally we'll give these permissions to the developers. Developers will create the tables, or the applications, the tables will be created from the application side. Okay, applications will trigger the create table statement, so that either from the application side or developers will create the tables. If they don't have permissions to create the tables, they will ask us to create the tables, but they will give you the script. This kind of script they will give you. So nothing to worry what table name I have to give, what columns I have to include, what data types I have to give, nothing to worry. They will give you create table script. You have to simply execute that create table script so that you can create the tables. Is it clear? But the thing is, make sure on which database you are going to create the tables. That is very important. Sometimes developers, they will mention in the script itself, sometimes they don't mention the script. If you don't see a database name in which database you want to execute that script, you want to create the table, ask the users, they will let you know which database. Why? Because you want to create a table in Amazon database, but that's he gave the script. In that script there is no database name. By mistake you just executed this script in the sales database. He is looking for Amazon. The Amazon also sales table will be there. Amazon means this one, right? Sales and all will be there, right? So you want to create the table in the Amazon database, but by mistake you just executed in the sales database. That shouldn't be, right? So that's why you have to ask in which database I want to create the table. Generally, if they gave the script, you can on top you can see like this. The script generally it will contain use Amazon. Use Amazon means this is the database name. Then go, then your script will start. Okay, so you can see here use means use database name, means this script has to be executed in the Amazon database. If you see use database name means, or use if you see any name means that is database only. So this script has to run in the Amazon database, or this script you want to run this in the sales database. Use database name, use sales database, so that this script will run in the sales. Or if you don't see anything like this, database name is not present, then change the database context from here. This is the GUI way of changing the database name. This is the query way of changing the database name. That's it, guys. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, so in the evening I'll tell you how to create the table and all, what precautions we have to take while creating the table, how to insert the records, how to filter the records. Everything we'll discuss in the evening class. If you have any questions, you can let me know. Otherwise, we are good to disconnect for now.
No questions.
No questions, sir.
No questions? Okay, done. So I'm sorry, guys. It's almost 10 o'clock. Oh my God. So sorry for that. I thought I'm just checking the server time. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Okay, thank you so much. We'll meet. Okay. We'll meet in the evening at 7 p.m. Yeah, evening at 7 p.m. Okay.
Oh.
Sharp 7 p.m. Thank you all. Bye.